For those who worked closely on this report, these are not just numbers. They are people, survivors, entrusted us with these stories because they believe that we can make a difference for them, and they believe that by telling their stories, this is the first step to the truth and to justice. Today, as we are bearing witness and ensuring that North Darfur is not bombed into silence, that starvation is not accepted as a weapon of war, and that the resilience of civilians is meant to be action, not neglect. Thank you all for being here in person and online. Your presence is proof that Darfur is not forgotten. So to begin off, I'd like to turn your attention to the screen where we'll have a short video highlighting around what the report is about. Thank you.
Today, we unveil a critical report from the Darfur Network for Human Rights, titled Everyday Bombs, Hunger, and Loss of Life, Accounts of Forgotten Victims in North Darfur. This comprehensive report, published in September 2025, meticulously details the ongoing humanitarian crisis. This report sheds light on the devastating human cost of the protracted conflict that has gripped North Darfur since April 2023. It documents the profound suffering endured by countless individuals and families whose lives have been irrevocably altered by the violence. The conflict, involving the Sudanese armed forces led by General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the Rapid Support Forces led by Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, has unleashed indiscriminate shelling, aerial bombardments, and targeted attacks on civilian areas. These actions have created an environment of constant fear and destruction. Our findings, based on 35 verified testimonies, extensive audiovisual evidence, including open source material, and secondary data from humanitarian organizations, reveal grave breaches of international humanitarian and human rights law. These violations are systematic and widespread. The use of explosive weapons has led to mass casualties, widespread displacement, and the systematic destruction of vital civilian infrastructure. This includes homes, markets, and essential services, leaving communities without basic necessities and a means to rebuild their lives. In places like El Fasher and the IDP camps of Zamzam and Abu Shuk, families endure daily terror, their lives shattered by violence. These communities, already vulnerable, face relentless attacks that strip them of their safety and dignity. Survivors recount harrowing experiences of losing loved ones, homes, and livelihoods, facing starvation as a deliberate weapon of war. Their testimonies paint a grim picture of a population struggling to survive amidst unimaginable hardship and deliberate deprivation. The deliberate targeting of civilian property and infrastructure demonstrates a blatant disregard for the principles of distinction, precaution, and proportionality, which are cornerstones of international humanitarian law. Such actions are unacceptable and constitute serious violations. The human cost is immeasurable, particularly for the most vulnerable, children. They bear the brunt of this conflict, experiencing trauma, loss, and displacement at an age when they should be safe and nurtured. They are robbed of their childhoods, their education, and their basic right to safety and well-being, facing violence and displacement daily. The report highlights how markets are targeted and starvation is used as a weapon of war, further exacerbating their suffering. This report is an urgent call to action for national authorities, regional institutions, and the international community. We must collectively address these atrocities and work towards a lasting solution for the people of North Darfur. We demand the protection of civilians, especially women, children, and displaced populations, in accordance with international humanitarian law. Humanitarian access must be granted immediately and without impediment to ensure aid reaches those in desperate need. Justice and accountability for these atrocities are not negotiable. They are essential for lasting peace and recovery. Without holding perpetrators responsible, the cycle of violence will continue and true healing cannot begin. The people of North Darfur deserve to live in safety, dignity, and peace. Justice cannot be delayed, and their voices must be heard and acted upon by the global community. North Darfur cannot be bombed into silence. We must ensure that the world remembers their plight and acts decisively to end this suffering.
Thank you very much for watching. Hope it touched you the way it touched us. And to add more onto what has been presented, I'd like to invite our keynote speaker, Mr. Leon Msuko, to add more onto what has been said. Do not applause for him, please.
Distinguished colleagues, survivors, advocates, leaders, fellow human rights defenders, all protocols observed. Good afternoon. We gather today not simply to launch a report, but to confront a legacy of violence that has outlived too many revolutions, too many condemnations, and too many lives. I'm from Kampala to New York. Before we proceed, I kindly ask you to join me in 1 minute of silence for the children buried in mass graves, for the mothers still searching for their sons and daughters, for the aid workers, killed while trying to save lives, and for the civilians who died nameless, faceless, and abandoned. Let us hold their memory in silence. Let us make their absence a presence in this room. Let us remember that behind every statistics, there is a soul. Please stand up for a minute of silence. Thank you. To understand the current devastation, we must confront the historical fault lines. Sudan has been plagued by conflict almost continuously since independence in 1956. Darfur marginalization is rooted in decades of political exclusion, economic neglect, and institutionalized governance. The 2023 rebellion was met with state-sponsored ethnic cleansing, and the impunity that followed laid the groundwork for today's atrocities. Today's war is not new. It is a continuation of unresolved grievances, militarized governance, and regional spillovers from Libya, Chad, and South Sudan. This war persists not because of complexity, but because of failure. Failure of will, failure of enforcement, and failure of solidarity. Fragmented peace processes without enforcement mechanisms, weaponized humanitarian access used as leverage by actors, geopolitical paralysis and donor fatigue that erode protection mandates, militia proliferation and war economies sustained by illicit trade and regional complicity have all enabled the current war.